Recording. So today, we'll try working on EC2. Okay. Yesterday you have like understood. I mean, at least you heard the EC2 related theory part, right? So today, we'll try to explore. Even if you have forgotten, no problem at all. We'll try to recollect those things. Okay. And that too, another part about this is like it's something new to you, so it's quite difficult to remember all the theory part, but no problem, we'll try to understand it better while doing it. Okay, actually this is the one where I do mistakes. Can you believe?
I did here too.
Okay, thankfully I haven't forgotten the password. But the rest of the thing, especially that captcha code is the one which irritates me. But anyhow, okay, so today we have to do EC2, and EC2 comes under compute. So yes, let's go to EC2. And we'll create our instance. Okay, so yes, to create our instance, can you see here under launch instance, here again there is a button, right? So if we click on this, again there's a launch instance, click on that. Okay, so now what you get to see here is the Amazon machine image. Now you should remember that Amazon machine image is just same as ISO image, right? Like ISO image is what? Something which helps you to get your operating system, right? So the same thing applies over here as well. Okay, so if you want some OS to be in your system, so you have to choose, right, which OS you want. Now when you say Amazon machine image, the only difference from the normal ISO image and this one is that here they are also adding some additional software. Okay, so that makes it theirs. Okay, that's the reason they call it Amazon machine image instead of just calling it like a ISO image. Can you see here they are saying an AMI is a template that contains the software configuration. So wherein what all is coming in? So operating system is there, application server, and applications required to launch your instance. So they are adding some things from their end too. Okay, so that's why they call it Amazon machine image. Now what we are going to do, okay, also remember that we don't want to spend it, right? We are only interested to learn. So make sure whatever you are choosing now is coming under the free tier eligible category. Can you see here there is a tag mentioned over here? In the same manner, you'll find that there will be some tags mentioned in, yeah, here also you can see that, right? So we'll go for the first one only. We are not going anywhere else. So we are going for the first one, which is Amazon Linux 2 AMI. Okay, select it. Okay, once you select it, the next thing that we have to do here, can you see here it is mentioned, you have to choose instance type. Okay, choose an instance type. Now instance type is nothing but it is all about the hardware configuration. Okay, so when I say hardware configuration, what I'm trying to say is, now say for example, okay, I am a person, I have to, create this EC2 instance. Say for example, I want to work on database. Okay, my application is something which is like the database management system which I want to run in my EC2 instance. So that means I will require a lot of this one storage, right? So I have to go for some given hardware or hardware configuration which is supporting more storage. Okay, or in the sense, if I'm going to work for maybe some data science related application, then I should go for an EC2 instance which supports more of RAM. Okay, as more of memory which can help me with processing that many data. Okay, so depending on what is my requirement, I can choose among the instance types. Okay, so there are like a lot of them. Okay, can you see a huge number of instance types are there? Some are network specific, some are storage specific, some are RAM specific, some are CPU specific. But anyhow, all I am interested in currently is the general purpose one, which is coming under the free tier eligibility. Okay, otherwise I'll have to pay. Okay, I don't want to do that. Now also please make sure that you are clicking on the next. Okay, Here there is an option which is highlighted as the review and launch. Don't go for it directly. So there is, I mean, here itself, you if you look, no, see on the top, you can see like what all steps are remaining. Okay, so we are at the second step. Then there is third step, fourth, fifth, sixth, and then comes the review option, right? So even though it is highlighted, please don't go for it. Go for the next one, which is configure instance details. And this, let it be as it is. Okay, let's just select the T2 micro, which is coming under free tier eligibility. Okay, now go for instance details. Okay. Now here, the number of instances you can choose. Basically, like how many virtual machines do you want to create at a time? Okay. So as of now, I just want to create one. Do you want to go for a spot instance? So spot instance is something like I said, right? It is more like auction. Okay. So whenever the price gets low, so that time you can get it. But I don't want that. I'm going for the on demand. Okay. By default, when we choose no, it is going for on demand. So that means as and when you require it, you can choose it. Okay. And it will be generally for short period of time. You are just, I mean, whenever you're going for some experiment and all, that's when you go for the on demand one. The rest of the things we can let it be. Now the VPC and all, I told you, right? As and when you create your account, a VPC gets attached to your account. It is nothing but a private network for all your, the infrastructure which belongs under your account. Okay, so this is there. Let it be as it is. We don't want to choose or I mean choose anything from this. Okay, let it be as it is. Then what do we have? Hmm. Okay, can you see here? There is a mention of IAM role. So that means I do have a provision to attach some IAM role here. Okay, or I can create a new one if required. Did anyone do the homework yesterday? I mean, you had to find out what is a IAM role, right? Anybody who found out? No? Okay, never mind. Anyhow, we'll have to come to this, but if you would have done it, it would have been good, but that's fine. Okay, then what do we have? Okay, we can let all those things to be as it is. Yeah, the next important thing here is this one. Okay, user data. Okay, so this here, no, you can actually mention some bash script. Okay, basically for the sake, you see, sometimes you might want that some of the commands to be run as and when your system boots up for the first time, right? So maybe you want to install some software or maybe update the softwares. Okay, some or some repository you want to add, something like that. If you want to do, you can mention a script over here. Okay, or you want to say maybe start the firewall, whatever you want to do, like for the initial first boot up. Okay, you can mention a script here, okay, which will do that. Okay, so it is going to be coming under the user data. As of now, I don't have anything, I mean, any such thing to be done. So I can just go ahead. So again, for the next step, which is add storage. And yeah, remember one more thing, you can navigate from here, as well as you do have a provision to click on this option here. Okay, and you can navigate from here as well. Okay, so if I go for add storage, okay, it's not working out. No, slow. Okay, now look at this. Okay, in add storage option, what I have, so by default, see, the root volume will be connected, you know, right? Because there has to be a volume attached wherein even the operating system or whatever AMI is going to be booted up, right, from. So root volume will be attached by default. Okay, and what do we have here? Okay, what kind of volume is that? You can see, okay, what type of volume it is. So it is a general purpose SSD, solid state device. Okay, and you can see the IOPS. Okay, IOPS is basically like how the input output. Okay, so how many like input output process can run together. Okay, parallelly and all. So here, can you see it is by default selected for delete or termination, in the sense as and when I delete this instance, okay, this volume, the root volume also gets terminated with that. Okay, that means it will also be deleted. Okay, And encryption, you do have a provision to encrypt the volumes, okay, if you want to. But since I'm not, I mean, I don't require it as of now, because I'm not going to do anything very, like secretive or anything like that. Okay, so I'm not going to do that. And you do have a provision to add volumes, okay. And also notice that the moment I clicked on add volume, can you see it is not going to delete on termination, okay. So you can choose to have that configuration, you can let it be, it's all up to you, okay. And you, I mean, generally why it is not coming as delete on termination is because you see, sometimes you might want like, I mean, you want to remove this volume from this device, okay, this instance, and you want to attach it with some other instance, okay, that is possible, okay. Anyhow, I'm not going to do any of those things, okay. And oh yeah, one more thing I had to show you. Here, the options are also more. Just see, here you have seen, right? You have the general purpose SSD, and then the provisioned IOPS SSD, then magnetic. Here you will find more options, okay? Okay, so hard disk drive is there, throughput optimized STD is there, okay? Some additional options are there. So that's it. Anyhow, I'm just keeping it as it is, okay. Only the primary or the root volume only I require, which is 8 GB. As I told you, for Linux based operating systems, no, the amount of hard disk required is less, okay, for running the operating system or booting the operating system, and even to do some general purpose, okay. You don't require much volume, much size actually, okay. Now I can go for the next, which is tags. Here I can add a tag, okay. So I can just mention like how I want my this the instance to be looking like, okay. The name by which I can like recognize, okay, this is the instance that I created, okay. Otherwise it will come with some name which may not make much sense to you, okay. But then again, purpose will be served. But anyhow, I don't want to do it that way. So I'll just give some name here. So I can say Linux server. Okay, done with that. The next thing that I have is, yeah, now this is quite important. Okay, so this is configure security group. Okay, I'm not going to configure or anything. Whatever is there, I'm just going to keep it. But let me tell you what this is all about. Well, and did I tell you something about incoming is like restricted and outgoing is free? So this is what I was talking about. Okay, so here the only possible way of incoming, in the sense, the moment I create the EC2 instance, which is nothing but a virtual machine, right? The only way I can like reach out to this virtual machine is through SSH. Okay. Now understand that SSH is a kind of protocol which is working for the what do I say, the Linux based system. Okay, Linux based system or Unix system. It is not applicable to Windows system. Okay, so it is like secure shell. So you connect and remember it's coming under TCP protocol. Okay, that means it is like two-way process. Okay, the authentication, I mean the way it is getting authenticated, it is like there is an acknowledgement and all. Okay, so yeah, here, and the default port for SSH is 22. Okay, and you can customize. Okay, I mean you have different options, say, I mean in the sense that as of now, can you see here some IP is mentioned, IP and the subnet. This means that from anywhere anybody can connect. Okay, if I don't want it that way, if I just want to connect from my IP, in the sense this system through which I'm trying to configure it, I can do it that way too. But I don't want to do it. I just want to keep it however it was. Okay, anyhow, now it is not coming that way, right? Okay, this will do. Okay, so from anywhere anyone can connect. Okay, let this be as it is. We'll go for review and launch. So basically, as of now, it is I mean it is not secure. Okay, because I have like mentioned it, like from anywhere anyone can connect if they know the IP of my system, and if they are going to connect from SSH protocol. Okay, so now let's go for review and launch. Okay, so here you know that all those things which I selected was something that is done by me. So there is nothing to change. So I can just go for launch. Yeah, now comes the next thing that we have. This is like when I mean you saw right SSH, we have to connect through SSH. Now SSH requires the key pair, okay, that is public key and private key. Okay, so basically if you have the private key you can connect to your EC2 instance. Okay, so for that sake what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new pair, new key value pair. Okay, and I can give some name to it. So what name can I give? Hmm, ah, anything. I can just say maybe, I don't know why I'm giving this, but anyhow I'm giving. Okay, so let's just download the key value pair. Okay, I mean the key pair, not key value. Here it is key pair because it is basically public key and private key. And yeah, let's download it. Of course if I need to connect, okay, then I have to have the key pair with me. And see the extension. Okay, just look at the extension here. So it is coming as training.pem. Training is the name which I provided, pem is the extension. Okay, now what I'm going to do is, okay, I can just close it here. I have downloaded this, so there is option for launch instances, right? Okay, now let it launch. Hmm. Okay, view instances. So now it is launching. Okay, so you can see that now here it is showing like the instance ID, it is showing. Okay, there is the state. Okay, whether it is pending, whether it is running or stopped, what is the state? The instance type is mentioned over here. There is some status check which happens whenever the instance starts. Okay, so now it is still not updated. The alarm status. Okay, and yeah, availability zone. You know, available, I mean availability zone is coming under the region. So what is that availability zone we have? So you can see it over here. Oh, I'm running in Oregon or what? See, can you see? I told you, right? The EC2 instance is, I mean EC2 is a service which is a region based service. So yeah, I mean if you look at this, if you see, can you see the region name? You can see over here. Okay, so if you look at the availability zone, it is like the region name. Along with that there is some alphabet or some character, right? So yeah, basically you need to understand that availability zone belongs to a region. Okay, so accordingly you can see the naming convention. Okay, now what else do we have? Okay, we have the public IP, public DNS. Okay, and okay, that's it. And there is no elastic IP. Okay, and monitoring is not happening for this instance. Okay, that's all fine. And when it is created, launch time is there. Okay, fine. The key pair, I mean, the key pair, what I have given the name for, no, that is the same thing which is appearing over here. And the security group is the one which mentioned that I can only connect through SSH. Okay, and it's not like you have to see everything from here. You can even see once I select my instance over here, I can get all the details here itself. Okay, so if you look at the details, you can get all those details here. Can you see? Right, you can see all those details over here, like what is the public IP, what is the instance ID, what is the private IP. Okay, all those things are over here as well. And even you, if you go for security, you can get the other, that security group and all. Okay, so everything is mentioned over here. So the, I mean, look at this inbound rules. Okay, inbound rule, outbound rule, it will show all that. So just look at this, you will get to know. So inbound rule, you can see that only way of connecting is through SSH, and the port for SSH, default port for SSH is 22. If you see, you know, there are like, I mean, some services which are very common. Okay, SSH is like that. In the same manner, you might say like FTP, or say UDP. Okay, so some protocol has got some default port. Okay, so you will find that you will find some default port there. Okay, until and unless you don't configure it to be a different port, you'll always find it to be having a default port. And yeah, outbound rules. Can you see all? This is what I meant by no outgoing is free. That means from my instance, if I want to connect to some other device, or if I want to do anything outside, okay, so outgoing is free. So I can do anything out. Okay, I can like try to ping some other device. I can try to connect to some other device until and unless they don't have an incoming issue or say a firewall. Okay, I can connect. So this is all about what I tried to tell you. Okay, now that the instance is created, you should know next thing that you need to know is how I can connect. Okay, when instance is created, next thing that we need to do is connecting to that instance. So I have selected it already. So there is an option for connect, right? So here you can see how we can connect. So one way of connecting is, can you see from here only I can connect? Okay, apart from that, I would like you people to just notice that there is a username provided. Okay, so there is a username which is ec2-user. Make sure whenever you are connecting to some or trying to connect to some instance, no, make sure that you are verifying this. Generally for the Amazon Linux too, no, the username will be this. But if you are using some other operating system, no, some other AMI, make sure that you verify this first. Okay, before you proceed for connecting. Now here I do have a provision that from here itself I can connect. In the sense, I can connect through the browser itself. Okay, there is an option to connect. So if I click on that, see, I can connect. Okay, but I want to show you some other way of connecting too. So I can connect. Can you see some IP and all is appearing over here? So let me see whether, okay, you saw some IP there, right? So if I mean, just go back here. Okay, and let me again select this. Okay, now what IP was appearing over here? It is, can you see this IP? 172.31.31 and 136, right? So let's see whether you can identify or find out which IP is it. Can you see? You can see the IPs, right? Can you tell me which IP is that? Is it the public one or the private one? Huh? Public or private? It's the private one, right? 172.31.31, 136. It is the private IP which is appearing over here. Okay. Actually speaking, if you see, the private IP remains. Okay. What I'm trying to say is, okay, I mean, it's better rather than saying this, no, I'll show you this. Okay. Anyhow, before that, there is one more thing that I want to show you. That is, if you see, now you know that this is a Linux based system, right? Linux system, my Linux based system, it's a Linux system. Now I have to connect to this system through my system. Now understand that my system is not a Linux based system, mine is a Windows system, right? So if I have to connect from my system to this system, I should do something, right? I mean, there cannot be, I mean, SSH is not something which I can do from Windows. Okay, so then how I can connect? So there is like two applications. Actually, basically it is one application, okay, which has got like two parts of it through which I can connect. Okay, so basically what you call it is putty. Even some people call it as putty also, but anyhow, I don't feel good to call it that way, so I am using this term. So can you see there is one is putty or one is putty, another one is putty gen. So I'm going first for putty gen. Okay. The reason is because I cannot connect to, when I go for putty, to connect to some server through SSH, it actually requires a kind of private key. The extension that it is expecting is PPK. Okay, but if you have seen the way the key pair was generated, it was coming with a extension which is PEM, right? So I cannot use the same key. to connect. It will be searching for the other one only. Okay, so I have to first of all generate it, right? So what I need to do is, first of all, I need to get the file here. Okay, so let's load that file. Okay, whichever I just received. Okay, in downloads, where is that file? It's just got downloaded. It is my downloads, but it doesn't show that one. Where is that one? Did it go elsewhere or what? Okay, okay, it is looking for all. Let me select all. Okay, now I should select the PEM. Okay, let's open this one. Okay, so can you see I was able to load the PEM file. Now, thing is, as I said, putty will generally look for the PPK file anyhow. Now, since the reason I went for this is because I want to generate a PPK file, okay? And remember that the file which I require to have, the key, okay? I need to have the private key in order to connect to the server, the EC2 instance, okay? So what I should do is, the moment I loaded the PEM file over here, okay, it will generate. Okay. So what I need to do is, I should go for save PPK, the save primary key. Okay. This is what I need to do. Are you sure you want to save this file without a passphrase? Of course. I don't want additional security. Okay. So yeah, I'm going for this. So I can just say training PPK, okay, or just PK, that will do. So PK, I'm actually putting it as a the private key, okay. For PK, I'm taking it as a short form for private key. It's not compulsory you have to put it this way. You can put it in a different way. It's all up to you. Naming convention doesn't matter. Okay, let's save this. Okay, now I have my private key. Okay, if I want to connect, I have my private key, and this putty key generator is only for that purpose. Okay, to generate the key. Now I have the key. I cannot connect from here. I can close this application. Now I'll go for putty. Okay, simple putty. Yeah, this one. Okay, so if I want to connect, first of all, I need to have the username, okay, to which I need to connect. And that's the reason I asked you people to look into the username. uh, I can use this one also, okay, it's not any issue with using this, but then again, I don't want to use this, so I'm going for this way only. Yeah, first thing is, if you go to connect, no, you can see the username. Okay, so this username I require. Then again, I require the public IP. Okay, so while connecting, you require the public IP to connect to, and while giving the key, no, you are going to have the private key. Okay, so EC2 hyphen user, right? This is the username. At the rate, I should give the IP, okay, the public IP. So I mentioned it over here. Now what I should do, you see, I have created the this one, right? The private key, right? I have generated that one, so I require that somewhere, right? Also remember that, just you make sure to look at these things also. Here it is mentioned the connection type, right? By default, the putty is selected for connecting through SSH. Can you see? Already SSH is selected. The port number is selected and kept. Okay. So the next thing that I require is to have my authentication to be done through the private key. Okay. So for that, what I should do is, can you see here on the left panel, there is something mentioned as SSH, right? So click on the plus sign besides to that. Okay. So when you click on that, you will find some options. Now click on the auth. Okay, not this time, don't click on the plus sign, rather directly click on auth. Now, here you can see the option for browse, right? So let's browse and find remember the PK file is what it requires, not the PEM. And you can see here also by default, it is searching for PPK file. So let's click on that, open. Okay, once you have done this, we can again go back to the first one, which is session. Okay, now from here, I can open the session, in the sense I can try to connect to that EC2 instance. Now click on accept. Okay. Now do you see it is connected, right? Can you see? Can you see the IP? Is it visible to all of you? Is it or is it not?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Generally, no, I prefer white screens, though it is visible, I know, but still, I don't know. I am comfortable with white screens. So there is a provision we can change this. So if you go for change settings, color, and use system colors, okay, apply. Okay, yeah. So if you look at this, it is the same EC2 instance, okay. Now we can write commands, we can check whether it is working or not, okay. Yeah, now there is one more thing which is going to come up, but you can see it for yourself, okay. So if I go for, okay, this only, yum update. Can you see what it is saying? It is giving me some error, right? Can you see what it is saying? It is saying you need to be root to perform this command. You know, right? The user through which I have logged in is the EC2 user, right? EC2 hyphen user. So I don't have the permission to run some commands. You remember, right? The way root user works for Linux system. So it is super user. Super user can do anything and everything, whereas other users need some additional permission to do that. But then if we don't have the permission, we can go for something like sudo, right? Sudo. Using sudo commands, I can do that, right? So let's do the same thing with sudo, okay? Sudo yum update, okay. So now I can select y here, okay. Okay, now you can see that it is updating all the packages, okay? Whichever is coming in the repository, it's trying to update all of them, right? So basically what you need to understand is, since you are not root user, you have not logged in through root user, you need permissions to run the administrative commands. Now, if I want to update some packages, if I want to run some commands, at times I require to have the administrative the permission, right? So if I need to have that, I should run the command prefixed with sudo, okay? Which is basically like super user do, like that, okay? So now what I want is, I want to install some given package. Let me see. Yum install httpd. I don't know whether it is there or not. Okay, you need to be okay. Yeah, I knew it, right? And still I forgot. Okay. Sudo yum install httpd. I want this. HTTPD is a package which is required if you want to connect to the HTTP. Now, HTTP protocol, you know, right, which is related to the web service, right? So if I want to turn my EC2 instance into a web server, I need to have this package, right? Now, what I need to do is, you see, whenever you generally have the web service, okay, in your system, if you want to, like, I mean, there is a default page which appears, okay. If you try to access the web page, you can find a default page. If you don't want to see that, if you want to see something which you have written, you can do that too. So for that, what you need to do is, you have to go for var www/html. Let me see. Yeah. And if I want to write something here, no, again I need that sudo permission, okay. So sudo vi, I'll create a file which says index.html, okay. And since it is an HTML file, first of all, let's go to insert mode, okay. Insert mode. Then if I want to write something, I have to put that tags and all, right? So let's put the tag. I'm not very good with HTML, you know already, right? So let's put something easy, simple one. Okay. So I'll just say maybe welcome to EC2 instance. Okay. Something as simple as that. Cannot expect more from myself. Okay, done with this. Let's save this. Okay, escape, right, quit, done. Okay, and if I want to verify, I can just do that, right? So if I want to verify, just index.html. Okay, it is done. Now remember that if I want to see this file, though I install the package required to convert this EC2 instance into web server, it is there. But then again, the service has to be activated, right? So first of all, we'll check whether the service is active or not. Okay. So to check again, now understand whenever you have to check whether some service is running on your system or not, again, that is more like an administrative one, right? So better, maybe the status check may not require the administrative permission, but still on the safe side, we can use sudo. Okay. So sudo system ctl status httpd. Okay. Okay, can you see here it is showing the status. So the status it is showing as inactive, dead. Okay, so basically it's not running. So if you want to run the service, no, all you have to do is in this same command, just replace the status, okay, status with start. So let's do that. So instead of status, I'm going to replace it with start. Start. Now how you will find out whether it has started or not? Again, we can check the status, right? Okay, let's do that. Can you see now the status has changed? Now it is active, running. Okay, you can see that. Okay, so yes, now my HTTP service is running. So that means the web service is working. Okay, and now that means I can connect to it through the web service, right? I mean, right? Web service is running. That means you can connect to it, right? So let's see whether if I can connect. First of all, let me have the this one, the public IP. Okay. So for that, I need the public IP. Let's copy this and try to paste it on my systems. This one, browser. Okay. Let's paste it. Okay. What do you think? Will I be able to connect? It is taking some time. Maybe that configuration is taking time to take some effect. Is it? What do you think? So it is giving me some error message. What is it saying? Error, connection timed out. Okay, so that is the error I'm getting. Connection is timed out. Can somebody tell me why is it happening? Or can somebody think for a reason for it? Anyone? Anything comes in your mind, you can tell. No problem. Think. Anyone who can think why is it happening? I mean, remember that the web service I have the web services got activated in that EC2 instance. Okay, but from where am I trying to connect? I'm trying to connect it from my local system, right? This web browser belongs to my local system. Okay, from there what I did, I tried to type the public IP of that EC2 instance, and I'm trying to connect to its web page, right? So what do you think, what is happening over here, and why is it not happening? I mean, why this is not working? Anybody who can think of the reason? No one. Okay, fine. Okay, remember that this is like a outgoing service. I mean, this is like an incoming service. Sorry, right? Incoming, right? I mean, I'm trying to connect to my EC2 instance from my local system. Okay, this is my local system. Okay, this browser belongs to my local system. From here, I'm trying to connect to my EC2 instance, and you know that in EC2 instance, it is only configured to be connected from SSH protocol, right? Only through SSH I can connect to my EC2 instance. It is not allowing me to connect from the web service, right? So web protocol is not yet allowed. Okay, so what I can do is, if you see, there is that security, right? Okay, security kind, security, yeah, this one, right? Here in security, I can go for this one. Okay, I can directly do it here, right? So what I should do, I can add some security. So this is my security group. Okay, and here what I can do is I can add some inbound rules. Okay, so here if you see, there is an option for edit inbound rules, right? So I can click on that, add rule. Okay, and while adding rule, what I can do is I can mention that I want to try to have one more incoming, which is from HTTP. Okay, so HTTP has got the default port, which is 80. Again, I'm going to keep it as anywhere. Okay, and only going for the IPv4, because IPv6 still it is not in use, I believe. Okay, so IPv4 is what I want to connect through. Okay, once I'm done with this, I can do this, okay, which is save rule. Okay, save rules. So once I'm done with saving rules, hopefully this is done. Okay, so let's go back anyhow from here. Okay, I can go back to not security group. I want to go back to my instances. Okay, yeah. Now what I can do is, now since I have added a rule, I can go back here. Let's try to refresh this page. Can you see this? Now it is working. Now, do you people understand like what exactly happened and why it happened? Do you understand this? Why I was able to connect now and why I was not able to connect earlier? Are you understanding? Are you people getting it? That earlier, no, the incoming from HTTP protocol was not allowed. The moment I added this rule in the security group, now I was able to do it. Okay, so you can consider that security group as nothing but more like a firewall. Okay, in firewall you do have a provision to add some rules which says that okay, from this protocol you can connect, at this port number you can connect. Okay, there are some criteria that you can set, right? Otherwise, if you are going to be like unbiased, you can have any incoming, you can stop any incoming, this one, right? Any incoming connection you can stop. If you want, you can stop the firewall like altogether, and you can have a a system which is allowing anything and everything. But then when it comes to AWS, they actually keep a minimum security. You have seen that they always give priority to security, right? So now the moment I have added the rule, I'm able to connect through HTTP. Okay. So this is how you connect to the EC2 instance. Okay. So we have seen actually two ways of connecting. One was three ways actually, right? I mean, one was through the EC2 connect, right? There was the connect option, right? If you look at this, there was the connect option. So with that, we connected through browser. Okay. Another one was through SSH we connected. Since I was having putty software, I had to connect through the putty software, right? I had to basically use that application. So that was the one. Then again, if I wanted to connect from the HTTP protocol, I had to just add the rule, and I was able to do that too. Okay. You might find that if you can you see here, look at this command. This is basically the command you require if you have already, I mean, your system is Linux based system, no? Then the command that you need to give is this. But do remember, you have to have the this one. What do I say? The key pair. Okay, you have to have the key pair, and then if you have the key pair, this is the command that you have to give. Look at this. What it says: SSH-i. Okay, and you mention the this one, the key. Okay, the key pair that you are using, and then you mention the username, that is ec2-user at the rate. This is the DNS that they are using. Okay, the public DNS. If you don't want to use the public DNS, you can use the public IP itself. Okay, no problem at all. It's all up to you. Public DNS if you want to use, or public IP you want to use, it's all one at the same. Okay, so there are like I mean, either of this you can give and you can connect to your EC2 instance. Understood? Now we'll do one thing. We have done this with this one, right? Which is the Linux based system. We'll do one thing. We'll try to install a Windows based instance as well. Okay. And remember that whenever you are done with your like work with a given system, you can just terminate it. Okay. I mean, you can do if you're not having any use, but you are going to reuse it at some other point of time, you can stop it. Okay, you do have a provision to stop it, that's also fine. Otherwise, if you're not going to use it at all, then you can go for terminating. But before I do this, I want to do one more thing. I want to actually show you one more thing, which is related to the public IP. Just have a look at the public IP. Okay, just try to remember this IP. If you cannot remember, you can just note it down. Okay, just see, have you looked at this IP? It is 34. I mean, at least starting few numbers you can remember. 34.219. Okay, only this much you remember. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop it for a moment. Okay, so let's stop this. Stop. Did I click on stop or not? Not even remembering that. Just a minute. Okay, one more time I'll just do that. Stop. Okay, okay, now it is saying successfully stopped, right? It's not like, I mean, it only means that it has taken my command. Okay, that's why it is saying successfully stopped. But actually, if you look at the state, it is still stopping. Okay, it has not yet stopped. Okay, let it stop. Okay, now it is stopped. Can you see the instance status showing as stopped? And just look at the public IP. Do you find the public IP anymore? Is it there? Do you find it? It's not there, right? It's no more there. Now what I'm going to do is, I mean, you remember the public IP, right? A bit of it at least. So now I'm going to again start it. Okay, one more time. And again, just see whether is it the same or is it a different one. Okay. Okay, it is still about to start. Pending. It's still in the pending state. Let it start. Okay, it's just taking time, right? Maybe because I chose a region which is away from me, maybe. Then again, it's still better, right? I mean, if you have to start a system, right? If you had a hardware and you had to install OS and then start it, it would have taken much more time, right? I mean, now look at the public IP. See, it is in running state, and now look at the public IP. Is it the same one as earlier? Is it the same one? I mean, if you don't remember the IP, you can see over here. Can you see? This is the same one as previous public IP, right? This one and this one, is it looking same or is it different? It's different, right?
Different.
Yeah, it is different. So basically, public IP is something which changes as and when you stop the server and you restart it. Okay. So remember that if at all you are writing some application, or if at all you are going to create some application in your system, in your EC2 instance, which requires the public IP, or which requires the IP to be as it is, or say that it is having the IP, it is referring to the IP. Okay, so please make sure that you are not using the public IP, because it is something which changes as and when the instance is shut down and restarted. Okay, so don't make use of the public IP. You can, if at all the IP is really that important, then you can, what you can do is you can attach an elastic IP. Okay, so there is something called elastic IP. Basically, for a given account you have 5 elastic IPs. Okay, so it is going to be a constant IP which you can add to your, or attach to your system, your EC2 instance. But there is a problem. Elastic IP, if you like have, I mean, ask for it, okay, for your system, I mean for your account, and you are not utilizing it, or you have attached to an instance, but that instance is shut down or anything like that, if you are not utilizing it, basically it is going to charge you. Okay, so don't do that. Okay, so anyhow, now I think I have made this clear, so I can just terminate this instance. Okay, I'm going to terminate it. As I told you, the more like the amount of time it is running, that matters, right? I mean, as of now it's fine, but then again, uh, make sure if you're not requiring it, you make it a point to terminate it, or stop it, whatever you're doing. I mean, depending on what requirement you have. If you're going to utilize it later at a later point of time, then you need not terminate it, just stop it. Otherwise, terminate it if you don't require it. And initial days when you are learning it, I'll suggest you terminate it, you create multiple times, at least you will be clear with the steps involved. Okay, so we are done with a Linux based system. Now the next thing that we can see is a Windows one. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, this is terminating, right? So again, let me go back to the dashboard. Okay, and here I have the launch option, right? So under launch option, launch instance, let's select a Windows instance. Okay, this time Windows, and please make sure that it is coming under free tier eligibility. So here I can find one free tier eligible one. Okay, so I'm going to select this one. The procedure and all is going to be same. Okay, so free tier eligible only I'm going to keep, I'm not going to go for anything else. Next is configure. Now this here I don't have anything, I need to configure. Everything is going to be as it is. User data, I don't want to do anything over here. I can just go for add storage. Adding storage, I mean, just look at this. The only thing that you need to see here is, I told you, right, Windows consumes too much of hard disk, right? For especially for their the operating system itself, it consumes more space. Okay, so just see this. And yeah, again, you have a provision to add volume and all, but anyhow, I'm not going for all that. Okay, the volume type is all going to be the same. Okay, so let's go for next, and let's add a tag. Here I think I'll give name, and it can be Windows Server. Okay, Windows Server. Okay, the next thing that I need to configure is the security group, which is nothing but the this one, right, firewall. So here, just look at this. By default, the only way that I can connect to my EC2 instance is RDP. Okay, so this is like the remote desktop. Okay, I mean, there is a protocol, remote desktop protocol, through which I can connect to Windows system. Okay, as I told you, SSH is something which is applicable for Linux based system. For Windows based system, the way you connect is through RDP. Okay, and it is again a TCP based protocol, and the port number, the default port number is 3389. I can connect as of now from anywhere. Okay, let it be as it is. Let's go for review and launch. Okay, everything is fine. Click on launch. So this time I'm going to select whatever is like existing. Okay, I'm not going to create a new one. I'm going for the training key only. Okay, and I acknowledge that I have access to that one. Okay, so let's launch instance. Okay, so it was as easy, right? I mean, hardly I just had to click some 3 or 4 steps. That's it, done. View instances. Okay, don't worry about the Linux instance, it is terminated. It just appears for some time. Don't worry about that. Okay, just in case if you get a error message, no, as and when you're terminating, in that case only you have to try for a second time. Otherwise, let it be. Don't worry about why it is appearing over here. It just appears for some time. That's it. It will be gone later. Okay, so don't worry about that. Okay, my Windows system, it is still in pending state. Now understand one thing, compared to Linux based system, Windows system takes some time to start. Okay, now, okay, it has come and running. But then again, it is good, right? Compared to actual system, this is much better. EC2 instances are still easy to connect to, right? Now here, let's see what options we have. Anyhow, you have to generally look into this, okay? The reason is you have to see, right, like how you are going to connect. And if you are going to connect, you should know something like what username you have to connect to, right? So yes, we can do that. Hmm. Okay, so now see here, the way we have to connect is we do have to get some password, right? I mean, if we have to connect to the username, right, which is administrator. Now you know that the SSH key, we cannot use it as it is, right? Because it's of no use, but still it is attached, right, to this system. So then it has got some purpose, right? So it will be used. It is used for this purpose, okay? For getting password. Okay, password is not available. Please wait at least 4 minutes after launching. Okay, fine. Let's wait. Since it is Windows system, no, that's why it is taking so much time. Don't worry, will take some time, but we'll be still fine with it. Now, by default, also you have the RDP client. In generally Windows system, no, you'll find, yeah, this one, remote desktop connection. Okay, you can use this, or else you have seen right in that connect option in under this one RDP client. I mean, you can see that this one, right? Download remote desktop file. You can use this also in order to connect. It's all one and the same. You can connect it through that application which is already there in your system, or you can use this. It's anyhow going to open the same thing. Okay, so do I need to wait? Okay, now it is fine. Can you see now it is letting me? So all I need to do is I have to browse the key pair. Now remember here the key pair that they are asking for is the one which is having the .pem extension. Okay, so let's browse that. I need to look for downloads. Yeah, this one. Okay, the PEM one, not the PPK. PEM. Let's open this. Remember, PTK is required for putty. Okay, that's a third party software, not something belonging to AWS. AWS is only looking for what AWS has provided. Okay, now let's go down. Okay, here there is an option for decrypt password. Okay, so let's decrypt it. Okay, so this is the one. Please don't try to remember this. There is an option for copy. Please do that. I know that that's something absurd to say, but still, okay. But what did I do? Okay, never mind. I can go to downloads and see for that one. While talking to you people, no, I missed. Okay, never mind. Happens. Okay, let's connect. Okay, so the administrator is appearing as it is. Okay, so that is nothing but the username, right? So what I need to provide is the password. Password I have already copied from here. Okay, I just need to paste it over here. Control V. Okay, and let's click on yes. Okay, can you see something is opening now? Don't think that my system is restarting. If my system was restarting, even the Zoom should have stopped, right? But it is not stopped. That means this is a different system that you are able to see. If I just try to minimize this, I think now you can find out, right? The one which is showing out like in the background, what you see is my system. Okay, and this one is nothing but the remote desktop connection. Okay, which is connecting to the EC2 instance, which is nothing but a Windows based system. Can you see? Okay, now you can see, right? So this is the Windows based system that we just created. Okay, as of now I can just go for as it is. Yeah, you can see all the credentials, everything. Yeah, right. I think that credentials appears. Okay, some details regarding the system will appear over here after some time. Okay, can you see now? This is the system that we just created. Yeah, this is what I was talking about. Can you see? It is showing the host name, instance ID, public IP, private IP, instance size, availability zone, architecture. Okay, the total memory, network performance. Okay, so it is showing all those things. Now, do you understand how to create a Windows-based EC2 instance? It was quite easy, right? Like hardly just few clicks and we were able to create a Windows based EC2 instance. Okay, when here also you can just see it is the EC2 instance after all, right? You can read the name over here, and you can even see that it is a remote desktop connection. Okay, so now I can just close this. Yeah, I don't want, I mean, I can just disconnect it. And I told you, right, even you don't need to download that. If you want, you can go from your system as well. Remote desktop connection, just you don't need to even provide the DNS. You can just provide the public IP. Okay, I don't have public IP over here. Then I can just go for the previous page, right? Where is it? This one, right? Okay, yeah. I can look at the public IP. Just click on this, select. Okay, and this is the public IP, right? No, this is a private one. Public is here. Okay, public IP, just provide it over here. Okay, then let's click on connect. Okay, it is asking for username. We know that it is administrator, right? Administrator. Password, I don't remember. I cannot remember actually. Password, I think I'll have to again go to that page, which is nothing but this one, right? Connect. And don't tell me I have to again decrypt. Oh, yes. It's okay. We'll do that. It hardly takes any time, right? Okay. Decrypt. Copy. And let's paste it over here. I mean, you know that is nothing but the same thing. Okay. Application is not changing at all. Okay. So yeah, I want to connect. See, so you can connect like this as well. It's fine. However you want to connect using the file that they are providing over here, or if you have the no remote desktop, by default it is there in every Windows based system, so you can just connect through that. And now I'm closing this. I don't want to continue. I can disconnect. Okay, now let's go back and now just try to delete this. Okay, I'm going to again terminate this one also. So this is just for learning purpose. Like if you have to create a Windows based system, or if you want to create a Linux based system, I mean instance, then how you are going to proceed with that. Okay. Okay, now this is like going to stop. You can see here it is like, I mean, it is telling me successfully terminated, basically meaning that it has successfully taken my command, okay, of terminating the instance. So now what I'm going to do, I'm again going to create another instance. Okay, now that is important one. Where should I go? I should go here. Again, I mean, are you people getting it, or anyone who is having some confusion? Is it clear to all of you? Are you people getting the steps involved, and are you finding it easy? Can you do it if you have to do it? It's understandable, right? You're not finding anything difficult, right?
I do have one question. So, are these steps like remain same even if we do it in Mac?
Yeah. I mean, whatever you are doing at the AWS level, no, everything is going to be remaining the same. Nothing is going to
Like
change.
connecting to RDP is also same.
Actually, when you are going for Mac, no, RDP, okay, remote desktop one won't be there actually. So in that case, no, I think there is another application when it comes to Linux based system. So I think you will get that. So once you have that, no, you can connect. I mean, from Linux-based system to Windows, if you want to connect, no, there is like this kind of remote connection is, some application is there. Okay, so using that you can connect. RDP is generally used for okay, I mean Windows. From Windows, if I want to connect, no, so RDP is something I can use. RDP is actually an application which is belonging to Windows system, so not for Mac.
Okay, got it. Also, if anyone has the
Mhm.
the instance which you created, like Windows instance, if they have the IP address and
Mhm. Mhm.
the name and the password, then they can connect
Yes,
remotely, right?
of course you can. I mean, do you have a, I mean, okay, your operating system is Mac, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, okay, fine. If I mean, if it was Windows, I would have given you all credentials. You could have tried it yourself.
Actually, I wanted to try it.
You
Um,
wanted to? Oh,
yeah,
then
but I
we'll
can't
do
do
one
it
thing.
without.
No, it's okay. We'll do one thing. Now I'm going to connect to a, Ubuntu server. Okay, so that time I'll provide you with the IP and all. Okay, so you can also check. You should have told me, right? When I was creating, I would have given you the IP and all. You could have checked whether you are also able to connect. Because I mean, I
Oh,
told you that from anywhere we can connect, right? So you could have cross
yeah.
verified. Even if you would have told me one moment at least. Okay, anyhow, we'll do one thing. Anyhow, we have to try something new, right? So that time I mean, I'll provide you with the IP. Okay, all of you can try.
Al- Also, one more question: like, can you create the instance for Mac as well, or is that not possible?
It is possible. Why not? It is possible. We can.
Okay.
I mean, whatever free of cost is coming here, no, you can try all of them. There is no
Oh,
problem
okay.
at all. Okay. I mean, even otherwise also you can try. The only problem is that you will have to pay. That's all.
Okay.
That's the
Got
reason
it.
I am not going for that. It is since for learning purpose, no, we don't need to unnecessarily spend. Okay. Anyhow,
Okay.
next thing that I'm going for is this one, Ubuntu. Okay. So again, the steps are going to be as it is, no change. Okay. So I'm just going for like next, next, next. Nothing I'm going to add here. About the role, no, since you people didn't tell me the answer for role, so don't worry. That we'll actually figure it out as and when we are doing. I mean, we are working with the S3. Okay, so that time it is anyhow going to come up. Okay, that's the reason I'm saying. So I can mention a name for this. Ubuntu server. Anyway, I'm really happy that you came up with a question. Okay, that was worth it. Okay, so I can connect with SSH. Yeah, Ubuntu is again coming to be the Linux-based system, right? So I can do that. The okay. Now going for launch, I'm going to select the same one. Okay, like creating 10 key value pair is also difficult to manage, right? So better to go with the same one if it is existing in your system. Launch instance. Okay, now it is launching, right? Okay. Mm, fine. Now it is. Oh, I did give that name, right? Yeah, this is the thing. Can you see? The name is not appearing. Maybe for some reason it didn't get saved. I'll just mention one more time. So this is the reason I don't prefer going without the this one. Okay, tag. Okay. Yeah, now it is getting saved. Okay, now it is in running mode. Good. So what I'm going to do is, okay, I want to create, I mean, I want to basically, what I want to do is I want to create a project, okay, the Django project inside this server, okay. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, I should connect to it, okay. So for connecting, first, I mean, I should know the username, right? So let's see. Oh, it is taking some time. Slow server. Okay, let it no, come up, and then I can have the name. It is taking so much time. Okay, what do I mean, I just want the name actually. Once I have the username, I can connect. Okay, you can try this by the way. Okay, let me give you this one. I'll just try to paste it on the chat box. Hopefully, you can try connecting. Those who have a Linux based system, they can connect using this. Windows based system people, no, just tell me. I'll do one thing. Whenever we are connecting through the web browser, no, that time I'll provide you. Otherwise, if you have putty, let me know. I can give you the no. username, you can see it is Ubuntu. Okay, you can see it from here. If you want the IP, public IP, you tell me, I can provide you. Okay. As of now, I'm just going to connect. Okay, I'm not going to connect through here. I'm going to connect from my putty. And yeah, can you see this session also got expired because I terminated, or even if you stop a server, no, this session will be expired. Okay, so now I have to go for a new session. Okay, I think I can go from here itself. I'm not sure though. Yeah, there is option new session. All I need to do is I need to provide the username Ubuntu @ and I should have the, what is that? I should have the public IP, right? So yes, I need the public IP. Let's have the public IP. Public DNS also you can use, but I don't prefer using that one. First of all, I don't prefer remembering that one. That's the thing. And now going for SSH, first you click on the plus sign, then you click on auth, and then you browse the key. Okay, so the private key is what you have to browse. Okay, click on open. Okay, done with that. Now let's go to the same session. Let's click on open, accept. Now I need to change the color because this is not something that I prefer. It's not that I'm going after white, it's just that I don't know, I feel like that doesn't appear as such. Okay, so here again you need to remember, I'm not the root user, I'm the Ubuntu user. Yes, right. So I should always write the commands, especially the administrative based commands, I should write with the sudo. Okay, prefixing to that. Here itself you can see that they are already telling me that. Can you see here it is mentioned to run a command as administrator user root, that is you have to use sudo and that command. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is I have to have some packages installed first, right? First of all, let's update whatever packages are there. Okay, to do that I think it is sudo apt get, I think it is update. I'm not very familiar with Ubuntu server, okay, but still I think I know a handful of commands here in this server. Let's try that. Okay, it is done, it seems. Thankfully. So now I think I can just install pip. By default, no, Python remains. Okay, I mean, if you look at most of the Linux based system, you will find Python installed already. Okay, so I can just check whether pip is there or not. Okay, so if not, I mean, it can install. Basically you can directly try to install with that. If it is already installed, it will just tell you that it is already there. Otherwise it will try to install it. So good, right? Apt get install. So I want Python 3. Okay, Python 3 -pip. Okay, and let's hit enter. I want it to be installed. Do you want to continue? Yes, I want to continue. Then what? Okay, once I'm done with installing pip, the next thing I need is, of course, once pip is installed, I need to even install another thing using pip, which is the virtual env, right? Because if I want to create virtual environment, I should have that. Okay, let this happen. It itself is taking so much time. Is it that heavy package or what? Taking so much time. Okay, let it happen. Once it is done, then we can install virtual env. Okay, done. Good. Now I can go for virtual env. Okay, so sudo pip. I think it is pip. Okay, pip 3 maybe. Pip 3 because maybe it is installed with Python 3. No, I believe it is this one. So pip3 install virtual env. Okay, yeah, it is downloading, collecting. Okay, done. Great. So next thing is I want to create. Now understand what I did. First I have uploaded, I mean, sorry, I have like I mean updated all the in no I this one all the packages. Okay, so you see by default it is all connected with some online this one, okay, repositories. So first thing is we are doing first command that we are giving was to update all the packages. After that what we did is Python will be by default will be there. Okay, so we have installed pip. Okay, once we have installed pip, the next thing we installed was virtual env. So once we have installed virtual env, the next thing is we have to have a virtual environment. Okay, so let's have that. By the way, I can do one thing. I can create a directory if I want, or I can have it here itself, and that's fine actually, I believe. Okay, I am in this location, fine. So I can just create a virtual environment. Okay, so the way you can do is virtual env, and you can provide a name. Okay, so I can just provide env. Done with that. Okay, my environment got created quite fast, right? Much better. Now you know that if I have to like activate this environment, the way you do it in the Linux based system is a little different, right? So it is like source, you mention the environment name, which is env slash, you know that under env you don't find scripts, but rather what you find is bin. Okay, bin slash activate. Okay, so yeah, let's see. Oh, it is activated quite fast. It is happening. I'm happy. So now that it is activated, the next thing that I'm going to do is installing installing Django, right? We have to install Django. Okay, let's do that. So pip install Django. Okay, let me see whether pip install will work. So let's do that. Okay, it's working, and I'm getting the new version of Django. Can you see 3.2.6 that is coming in? Okay, good. So pip freeze I can use, right? Pip freeze, I can see the version. Okay, this is, these are the things which got installed. Okay, so good. I'm happy. Everything is working just the way it is expected. The next thing that I want to do is okay, installed with Django. Okay, created environment, activated environment, install Django. So now next thing is to create a this one project, right? So let's do that. Project. Okay, so Django admin start project. And what name can I give? I can just say maybe new project. Some name, who cares, right? So it seems it worked already. Yeah, done with that. So things are working quite smoothly. Okay, so let's go inside that a new project. Okay, now the thing what I'm going to do is something which you have to see. Okay, so I am inside the base directory. Now I want to actually access the settings.py file. So you can either go inside the other directory and you can try that, or else you can do it this way also. So vi, and you can provide the next directory, which is again going to be new project, right? So inside new project, you again have a new project, and inside that you have settings.py, right? So you can mention it this way as well. Okay, yeah, I am inside now. Yeah, now remember why I'm going in this file is mainly because of the fact that earlier, no, whenever we were running the Django project, we were in the same system, right? I mean, we were running in the running the project in the same system, and we were accessing it from the same system. So we never had to do anything. Okay, but now this time we have the EC2 instance in which our project is going to run. Okay, but then we are not going to access it from EC2 instance, but rather we are going to access it from our local system. Okay, so here inside the allowed host, let's first of all come in insert mode. Okay, you have to mention the wildcard entry. Okay, wildcard entry is nothing but the asterisk or star, whatever you call it. Some people call it as star. I mean, I don't need to call it anything. It is something like, I mean, the default name for it, right? So right quit, done with that change. Okay, all I've done is inside the allowed host, you have to no, just click on that this one, shift 8, right? That is asterisk, right? So that's it, done with that. Now you know how to run the server, right? So let's run the server. So how to run? You know how to run, right? So Python manage, I don't know if here I should write like this or I should better write Python, right? Python manage dot py, and I should mention run server, right? Because if you see, I didn't go inside the other new project, so run server should be here only. I can do it. Manage.py should be in this folder itself, right? So run server, let's see, will it work or not? Okay, it seems to be working, right? So let's see, either if it is not working, no, then I can do one more thing. Let's see, whichever is working for me, I'll do that. Okay, now this is seemingly running, right? So if I want to access, I have to write the public IP over here, right? Do I have the public IP with me? That's yeah, this is Ubuntu server. Let's copy this and let's see, will I be able to connect, by the way? What do you think? And I have to go for the 8000 port, right? Not any other port, 8000 port. Will I be able to connect? Do I have a provision to connect to my EC2 instance from 8000 port? Huh? Is it allowed? Incoming, I mean, I'm trying to connect to my EC2 server using my local system. Okay. So this is more like an incoming connection, right? For my EC2 instance. But do you think I have done anything for allowing this? No, right? So let's go back, do the required changes to be done. So first of all, go to security. Where is my security group? Yeah, here, right? So let's click on this one. Okay. Now let's add some new rule. Okay. So edit inbound rule. Under this, I'm going to add a rule. Okay. And remember that now I cannot use HTTP, though it is connecting through HTTP. If I put HTTP, by default, it will look for 80 port. The problem is 80 port is not the one which I'm looking for. I'm looking for 8000 port. So I can just put it as custom TCP, okay, for namesake. And I can put the port which I'm looking for, okay. And here, it can be anywhere, okay. Yeah, done with this. Let's save the rules. Okay. Okay, saved. Let me see whether now it is working or not. It is still not seemingly working. Now why is it so refuse to connect? Okay, there can be one more reason actually. Let me see, maybe that is the reason why it is not working. Let's see. Okay, security group, these things are done. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, maybe no. There can be one more reason. Let me just look back here. This one. Let's just stop this, okay, for a moment, and let me again try to run the server. But this time I'm going to run it in the another IP. Okay, I'm going to use it this one. Okay. Okay, and I think I need to even give the port number, isn't it? When you give it this way, you have to even provide the port number, right? Have you people ever tried this? Okay, let me see. Let me try to run. Okay, command error is not valid. Okay, port number also I need to provide then. 8000. Okay, now let's see. Let me just go back to this and let's refresh. Yeah, now it is working. Okay, so basically, since the 127.0.0.1, no, that is actually again for local host. Okay, so it was again referring to local host. So that's the reason I had to run the server in this port. Okay, which is nothing but all you have to do is you have to put the command this way. Okay, run server 0.0.0.0 colon and the port number in which you are expecting. Okay, now let me provide you with this. Okay, so you can also check whether is it running for you as well. Okay, control C, where is the chat box? So all of you can check, okay, whether it is running or not. Okay, whether you are able to access it or not, because most rarely you should be able to access, because the rule that is being set is like from anywhere it should allow me to connect. Okay, so just see, is it happening for you too? Ashika, you wanted to check, right? You can check and tell me.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
it's
tried.
working.
Okay, great. It's working, right?
I tried
So,
running the command which you sent it in the chat, but
mhm.
it's giving me permission denied error.
Oh, okay. Then, okay. I understand the reason. Actually, the reason is no, I forgot one fact. That is, you don't have the key pair, right? Even if you
Yeah.
give the command, if you don't have the key pair, it won't work. I think if I need to, I mean, if you need to connect, I think you have to have the key pair as well. But then again, do one thing. I mean, uh, uh, okay. For this only, I have given or what? Right? This one only.
Yeah, the Ubuntu.
Yeah, then okay. The other one, no, if it when it was not terminated, I would have given the IP, then you would have seen that web page. Okay. And the thing is, for this one, I have to share this one, the key pair. Okay. Then it would be possible for you. Since you don't have the key pair
Okay.
through which you have to connect, that is the reason it was not connecting for you. Okay. Anyhow,
Okay.
tell me one thing. All of you understood this, like how things are happening, how you are able to create the EC2 instance, what all things comes in picture, especially when you are running some service and when you have to access. Understanding all this? It's fun,
Yes.
right? I mean, so many, so many things we have seen and learned today, right? And we learned about creating a EC2 instance, which is a Windows-based one, then a Linux-based one. We have seen Ubuntu one also, and we even tried to run this one, right? Django server. Django server, if you see, it is running here, right? Which is not my local system, but this is the EC2 instance, right? And I'm able to access the page. Okay, after once it is running, the page I'm able to use. I am able to see that page running from from my own browser. Okay, which is belonging to my local system, right? So isn't it like fun to do that, right? Okay, now that's it. I'm not going to like irritate you people too much. I think this is itself like a bit too much, right, for you to take. So I'll do one thing. We have already seen how to work with EC2 instance. The next thing we have to explore is S3 service. Okay. So the next thing that we will be doing will be more like we'll try to see like how S3 works. Okay. As of now, let me stop the screen share and let me even stop the recording.